Alrighty. So, welcome to Folktale, everyone. This is the tutorial that has been out for quite some time. And I'm going to do a very quick series of it. I'm commentating afterwards, not during, because it's just for right now, it is easier, at least. So, this is their interesting little cutscene. Normally, I don't really like to kind of talk over the voice, like, you know, the game when they're trying to tell a story or someone's talking in it. But, it's a tutorial for one, and it's also, this isn't going to be in the final product. At least from my understanding, at least. So, regardless, yeah, it's an interesting game. It's an RPG, it's an RTS, and it's really those two main things, and then they say, you know what, we're gonna make it a sandbox. So it's sandbox RPG RTS. It's interesting. So yes. So here we are, and one moment. There we go. We begin with a quest. In fact, I don't know how if they're gonna do quests. I'll have to look into that. I mean, I know there's quests right here, but I don't know if it's gonna be a main part. I'm not 100% positive, but I guess we'll find out in the near future. So, currently, if you notice, I have to actually click these little signs to build anything, and I believe in the not the next patch, in the patch 0.3, they're going to be opening up the sandbox player instead of just the sandbox editor. So we'll have the sandbox editor and the sandbox player, so we can actually play in it. And in that, you don't have these goofy little signs of pre-placed spots where you have to put buildings. You can just put them anywhere you want. So it's a lot nicer than this. I don't know what I'm doing. Just checking things out, I guess. Yeah, looks like it. Come on. I know what you have to do. Zoom in. No, not there. Dumbass. Oh well. At the top, you'll notice all the resources. Now, I don't know what all of them are. I'm going to be quite honest. Oh, wait, no. No, yes, I do. Okay, I lied. I know what they all are. Okay, so obviously the gold one has the little pile of gold coins. The one next to it is wood. The one next to that is the rock, which is the number 2. The 230 is, I want to say, like iron bars, maybe. The one next to that at 112 currently is wheat. The one next to that at 0 is eggs. The one next to that 0 is milk, and then the next one at 0 is flour. So those are your current resources. Are they going to add more? I'm not quite sure. Possibly. I know once you build a monastery or cathedral or whatever, church, something like that, you can start collecting honeycomb, and then you can use that honeycomb from the bees to turn into like mead and stuff. So I'm not sure if that's considered a resource or not, but I remember getting it later on. I don't think it is considered like an actual collectible resource. I don't know. We'll see. So, I am taking my already made peasants and I threw them into the windmill. There's currently a cap of 5 per building on how many of that profession. Like, if I have a barracks, I can only have 5 soldiers be made at that barracks. If I have, like, my windmill, I can only have 5 farmers made at that windmill. And in a way, it's like sacrificing peasants, even though you're not really sacrificing them. But you throw a peasant in there, and they come out like where they have a profession. So that's how that works. At this point in the tutorial, they're literally just having me build everything and anything. This one's wood. And when you construct a building, you don't actually click on a unit to build it. You just go to the place and random peasants will come over and start helping build it. It's interesting. That greenhouse to the left is a storehouse. That is where all of your resources are stored. So all of your people from like the wood cutting lodge, the windmill, all the resources they're gathering, they will eventually, once it's all finished and done, they will head on over to the storehouse and throw it in there. Oh, and this is me playing with peasants, which I did discover in this version of the tutorial, at least. The women peasants cannot do anything but two things: help build, like buildings and stuff, and other than that, they can only be an innkeeper at the tavern. They can't mine, they can't cut wood, they can't even farm. So it's pretty funny. It might just be the fact that the developers decided they wanted a specific purpose for them, just to add a little bit more, I don't know, medieval-esque idea towards it. If not, it might have just been that female peasants are just a separate NPC. So they could just be like, oh, it wasn't coded yet. I don't know. But then again, males cannot be innkeepers. So it is probably deliberate then. But I know in the sandbox, I don't know. I don't remember, because I remember the editor's weird. Like, you can do certain things. Maybe I'll make a video on it or something before the player comes out, but the sandbox, you can just, obviously, sandbox editor, you can create everything, you can do anything you want. But I couldn't get the workers to actually do anything, but that's probably what the players were, to actually play the game. So I wasn't able to test that out. I don't know if they're going to keep that idea or not, but we'll see in 0.3.0. It's funny, because each peasant has a name. It seems like it's a random name. And probably the weirder part is when they die, they can come back and have the same name. Like, the way you get peasants is if you... Let's say I use a peasant and I send it to a barracks. Ugh, sorry, I'm adjusting myself. Let's say you use a peasant on a barracks. They will become, a militia? Yeah, they'll become a militia, and then the game considers it, oh shit, you're missing a peasant. So eventually a ship will come by and will give you a peasant. Same thing works with anything that dies. So if you have a character that dies, they will replace it with a peasant in the near future by ship that comes by and delivers it to your tavern. At least in the tutorial. Keep in mind, this is all in very, 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 very early development. So there's a lot of things that are probably going to change.